badly did you guys want Sydney the first time she hit the portal?
We tried really hard. We did, and it just didn't work out. That's kind of the way the portal works. And I've always said the portal it's kind of like speed dating. It happens so fast in most cases, and that's kind of what it did with her. But we tried really hard, but she didn't make that choice, and I guess we're fortunate that we got a second chance, and she's here.
What was it that always appealed about her?
I think number one thing is she can score, and we felt like when we looked at her, and I coached in the MAC for 7 years, and that's really high-level basketball, and to be the freshman of the year in the MAC and score at the level she scored. She's a big guard. We just felt like she really fit what we wanted, what we needed. She's a junior, so she's got collegiate experience. And this time she really wanted to come. I mean, I think she felt like this was a good fit, and it happened pretty quickly. So we were excited that it happened.
She lived up to what you were hoping to get out of her?
Oh yeah, and then some probably. I think she's a great teammate. She's fit in really well. She's given us some versatility that we really didn't know exactly. So we played her as a back up to Addie. We played her at the 3. Obviously, she's a kid that, if you watch the game so far, she's come in and scored. Yep. She's great off the bench. She's kind of got that NBA second unit, get off the bench, get some baskets, which we need. And I think that's something that's going to continue to go to give her a chance to get even more minutes. And she's learning our system. And that's the other thing I think we forget with these portal kids is, yeah, they do have collegiate experience, but everything here is different. Whether it's the terminology, whether it's the community, whether you don't just flop into some place and feel like you're at home. But she's managed it really well. Very mature kid, works really hard at it. So she's been a really, really big plus for us.
Did you anticipate her being able to shoot it at the percentage she's shooting it from everywhere on the floor?
Not really. She's always been kind of a volume scorer. Her percentages have never been that high. But then again, a lot of times you look at a kid and they have to take hard shots because they're the best player on the team, or they have to take the shot that the other kid, here, you take it at the end of the shot clock kind of thing. And so I think she had to do a lot of that. But then you look at, last year there was a couple games, I think it was at Kansas, maybe she had 25, and so you knew that it was there. So I don't know, I'd say I was surprised, but I think we felt like her numbers were probably on the low end at Central Michigan based on, what she had to do for that team during that time.
I ask you every year about the in-state rivalry games and what they mean.
It's all right.
The sport's changed a lot. Have these games changed, in your opinion? Have these games changed to you at all?
I don't think they've changed. I think that you still have 4 really good teams. It's the same thing, 4 good teams, 3 different conferences. It brings more attention than any games probably that we play all year. They come early, and like this year we have 2 in 1 week. But I think it's good. It's not real smart on our part to play these games. I mean, the guys don't do it. But for the growth of the sport and for maybe what we need to do, it's probably a good idea to play them. But everyone knows if we go up there to Wednesday and lose, the whole world's coming to an end. But that's what it is, and we know how big a game it is, and we know the motivation. And I could give the pregame speech to their team, and it'd be pretty close to probably what Coach Warren tells them. So I don't know. I think our kids are excited about it. It's a great atmosphere. There'll be a good crowd. So we'll just it's a really good early season test, especially on the road.
Was there a strategic aspect to scheduling these 2 games this week with South Carolina coming up next week?
No, the games really the when we play at Iowa or Iowa plays here, that one's kind of set, with Cyhawk week, and that when we play Drake and UNI, it's all over the place, and sometimes it's really hard to schedule them. That's the hard part about non-conference scheduling. Everyone wants what's best for them, and it doesn't really work that way. And the timing of it can be different, and You know, like we had 3 games in 1 week, and you look at TJ, he's playing, I joked with him, he thinks he's on Monday Night Football. You know, they play 3 Mondays in a row. It's just, it's a really hard rhythm to get into until you get to Thanksgiving. And then you play a tournament probably, and then your December starts to flow into, but there's no set, we don't always play them the same time of year like Iowa.
Is it fortunate to get 2 of these games that are going to be high intensity, a little bit of rivalry feel to them before that game coming up next week?
It's a good question. I guess we'll have to see how they go before. I think that, our kids, a lot of people want to talk about South Carolina or UConn or conference games. I mean, the 3 in-state games for me, I'm not speaking for anyone else, they're the hardest games on our schedule for a lot of reasons, and especially when they're on the road. And that's just maybe someone who's been born, raised, and lived in this state most of my life. I understand that's not big enough for everyone else. And outside of our state, the people that will look at the score on Thursday morning and whatever happens, they're not going to pay much attention to it. But the people on the inside know how big it is. And that's me. You could ask these guys, and they probably, like a lot of things I say, would disagree with it. But that's kind of the nature of the way I feel about it.
In the past, you've kind of talked a little, maybe talked up the idea of winning the unofficial state title being something important. Is that still something important?
Oh, absolutely.
Something that you talk to them about the overall series against all these teams heading into this first one?
Oh yeah, it is. I think it is important, and I think and obviously if you do, you've won 3 hard games against 3 good teams. So it's not just winning the unofficial state whatever. Usually when that happens, you have a pretty good team and and your season's rolling in a pretty good direction. But like I said, it probably is more of an internal thing for me than it is for the group. But it's certainly important, and certainly something that our kids they're going to learn. If they don't know it now, they'll learn about 2 minutes into the game Wednesday night what they're getting into. But I have a lot of respect for them. Coach Warren's a phenomenal person. I mean, my son worked for her for 5 years, and not just as a coach, but what she taught him to be a better person. I mean, I always will respect and thank her for that, and that means a lot to me. And so we'll go play, and I'm just glad it's the last time I have to see Maya McDermott and Grace Buffelli and some of those guys. But it should be fun, and hopefully it'll be a great showcase for basketball in our state.
Do you feel like there's going to be a lot of Cyclone fans that travel to Cedar Falls?
Yeah, we usually do pretty well. I mean, up there, I think it's one of those things where it's a Wednesday night, so you don't really know. But it'll be a really good crowd, and I think historically, our fans travel when they can, and I would be shocked if there's not a lot of Cardinal gold in there on Wednesday night.